Martin. Good morning, my friend. This is so cool. Martin says, hi, Uncle Mosh.
Hi, Martin. What up?
Ron, the Mater Raider. East Coast Raider. What's up, boys and girls? Hooligan Nation. Hey, Jordan Ford. Martin says Paul's late. Yeah, he's normally one of the first ones in here. What's he doing?
What the heck?
Hey, Chewies. Pono Z, Miguel Ruiz. Kevin the Raider Nerd. Ty the Raider.
Ta-da, Raider.
All right, here we go. Let's. What is this, Jeff? What episode number?
380.
380?
380.
All right, let's go. Here we go. Episode number 380 of Raiders Fan Radio.
What's up, guys? It's Richie Incognito, Las Vegas Raiders. I'm here at Raiders Fan Radio. Let's go, Raiders.
Woo! Hey, it's Mike Garofalo, NFL Network here in the home office, and you are listening to the Raiders Fan Radio podcast, taking that lighter journey into the dark side with Murf, Swag Jeff, and Michelle. She's got great hair. It's a little pink, it's a little purple, whatever it is. I'll tell you what, if I could grow it, I would sign up for that color today. So listen to her and the entire crew as they give you all the information on the Raiders on the podcast that benefits the One Nation Foundation. It's a great cause. It's a great pod. Tune in, turn it up. Here it comes. All that Raiders info and takes coming at you right now.
Jackpot, baby. Raiders Fan Radio.
Oakland, L.A., Oakland, Vegas, Raider Nation, wherever, forever. You got your old Uncle Mosh and Raiders Fan Radio from Murf's Man Cave, taking a lighter journey into the dark side. Sit back, put your feet up, pop a top, and enjoy the ride. Here we go!
Look left, look right, Political, a leaking pass, touchdown!
We miss you, we love you, and we'll see you in the Hall of Fame.
When you have great coaches, then after you have great coaches, you get great players, you have a great organization, and you tell them one thing, just win, baby.
Way up the middle, intercepted Filipiano at the 50, time running down, Oakland football, and I think Oakland victory. The Raiders have scored on the most zany, unbelievable, absolutely impossible dream of a play.
Well, I love this team. I think this team can win. I think this team can win.
You are listening live to Raiders Fan Radio. Take it away, guys.
Why, thank you, Brett Musburger. What is up, Raider Nation? Your buddy Murf back once again for what we trust will be a fantastic episode of Raiders Fan Radio. Episode number 380 of the show is what I've been told pre-show.
Yes.
Is that we've done 379 of these, not to count all of the Tales from the Nations and rundowns and all that other stuff.
The RFR is tripping.
Oh, that's right. We're probably bumping 500 of these damn things.
I would say
I would say so for Total Podcast, and someone who's a huge part of 500 of those, and we're going to introduce you to here in just a minute. We got a special guest in studio tonight, but until we get to that, I want to tell you a little bit about the good friends at the Believe Network, where we are now hosted in terms of the audio podcast. You can find our audio podcast on every podcast service, such as Apple, such as Google, such as Spotify, all those things, and we are supported by the Believe folks, and very thankful to the folks at Believe. And we are very thankful to our sponsors tonight. Not only does Believe support us from a networking standpoint, but we are also supported by FanDuel. Shout out FanDuel.
Hey, FanDuel.
Shout out FanDuel. It recently was Futures Day, where you got to lay down your bets for what your futures, what you thought was going to happen. And so I've got the Raiders to finish second in the AFC West. I've got the Raiders to make the playoffs. I've got Brock Bowers at more than 5.5 touchdowns. I've got the Raiders at more than 8.5 wins. And I think that's all I have on the future so far. But I've been betting the shit out of baseball and having a dang blast with FanDuel, man. FanDuel has been awesome. And I think Jeff's got some odds that he's going to read off to y'all here in a little bit when we get to Jeff. But good, I'll get it out.
Hey.
Many thanks to the good folks at FanDuel and the good folks at Believe. And then also to our good buddy Justin over there at HTO. And if you are in Arizona or Southern Nevada, definitely patronize the good folks over there at HTO. Go ahead and get your refreshing drinks over there from HTO.
Yes.
But anyway, so my name is Murf. I do not do this show alone, though. I've got two amazing co-hosts in for tonight. And so first off, let me throw it over to my best friend and yours. He is the man that adorns the right side corner of the Murph's fan cave.
For those of you that are directionally challenged.
But it's your right. It's not my right.
No, it's my right. So if you're looking at your radio, look at it from the other side, and to the right side will be my best friend and yours, and he is Swag Jeff.
Hey, there you go. You're going to look at whatever side you want, but don't look at the back side. Oh, my gosh. No, man, I'm fired up to be here, man. There's nothing going on at Raider Nation right now. You know, no one is freaking out.
Oh, no. It's
no one's
perfectly
freaking
calm
out. It's
there.
perfectly calm. No big moves have been made. No big trade requests have been made. Nothing like that. So we don't have a whole lot to talk about tonight. So, but no, man, I'm excited, man. And you were talking about FanDuel, and I'll go over some of these odds here in just a few moments. But you know, Future Day was a big day for you.
It was a big day.
It was a big day for you. So I put $1 on the Raiders to win the Super Bowl.
Did you?
I did, and it'll pay $1,100.
Let's go, bro.
Yeah, man.
Let's go.
So you never know. So you're saying there's a chance.
You're saying there's a chance.
Yeah, absolutely,
at a
man.
plus 11,000. Let's
At
go.
a plus 11,000, man. Absolutely.
Oh, you know what I did do? I did do a non-Raider one. It was like a plus 3,600 or something like that. But I picked Bills-Eagles Super Bowl.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah, Bills-Eagles Super Bowl. So, yeah.
Is there a line on how long the Travis Kelce marriage will last?
Jeez. No, but and I'll save you because I want to get.
There's really not.
What? Oh, I don't know. Probably is on some prop bet somewhere.
Okay.
I'm sure there is. But we were
Failed marriages sports book.
Failedmarriages.com.
Yeah. How many of those you bet on yourself?
Oh my God! I do like you do.
I want big on me.
I do like you do on the Raiders on the Raiders winning the Super Bowl. You just go same bet as last time. You know, it's like playing a slot machine or something. Yeah.
All right. So without further ado, that glorious voice that you hear, for those of you looking at your YouTubes, that's not Santa Claus. That is the artist formerly known as Uncle Mosh. Give it up, ladies and gentlemen, for Uncle Mosh.
Hey! Welcome back.
What up, Mosh?
So actually, it is Santa Claus. All you have to do is
believe.
Isn't that just like what you're?
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
Like, weren't you saying that in your ad earlier? Your little commercial thing that you did earlier.
About believing?
Yeah, you kept using the word believe. And I'm like, oh, I wear the white shirt.
Oh well, we're on the Believe Network.
That's what I'm
Oh,
saying.
yeah.
So am I.
Look at but no, so for those old school RFR listeners, I know we get asked about you semi-regularly, Uncle Mosh, and not even semi-regular. What am I hedging it for? We get asked about Uncle Mosh all the time on the social medias or otherwise. We know Mojo is in. Mojo said this was going to be his Super Bowl. Was having you on the show
100%.
And so and I say all the time very fondly, I said my uncle retired from podcasting and turned into Santa Claus, and I wasn't kidding. But tell the folks at RFR what you've been up to in retirement and how you've been enjoying life since
man,
you and
life is
Kathy
good.
are just kicking it at the crib now.
We are just kicking at the crib. I was always portly and a little hairy as a goat. So I said, why not take all of that and turn it into a profitable experience? You know what I'm saying? And of course, I've been playing Santa Claus for years. I have pictures
It was
of
my kid's first Santa.
I have pictures of you sitting on my knee.
Oh wow!
Back,
yeah.
50 years ago. I was your first Santa Claus, and of course that was with the fake wig and the fake. So I got the opportunity to. When in my retirement, I was doing some stuff with the local Parks and Recreation Department, and they asked me to come and work the Christmas parade a couple of years ago, and I said, okay, I'll do it. And I said, I don't like that Santa Claus. I just don't think he's the right fit. And they go, well, could you do better? And I said, yes. And the rest is history.
Nice.
So I became a full-time Santa Claus, grew my beard out, grew my hair out, and just decided, and I've been working like crazy. I've had I get gigs in the summer for Summer Santas, and I just worked a parade in the little town, the Moon Pie RC Cola parade.
That's big time.
It is big time.
That's big time
really
belt
is.
buckle. It
I
really
was,
is.
I
deal,
was
yeah.
the Santa for that in there, because it was the summer Santa.
Yeah.
And so I got to go in the Hawaiian shirt and the sunglasses and the shorts.
fun, man.
And that was the hat that I was wearing, is my summer hat.
Nice.
And but just I had a custom suit made and all kinds of stuff, and just having an absolute ball with it. Stay busy, make a few bucks here and there, and it's just have a good time.
Nice.
Have a good time.
Nice.
I've got a contract with the city where we live, and so I'm having a blast, having an absolute blast. And when you only work 1 month a year, it's great. It's great. And then other than that, fishing, hunting, going to the casino. More fishing, more casino, I don't go to the gym, so I carry rocks around the yard.
Really?
And, yeah.
You don't go to the gym?
Nope.
Oh.
Nope. Carry quit that.
Damn, Jeff.
Quit that a while ago, you little bitch. Quit that a while ago.
This is what I miss.
We could.
This is what I miss right here.
Don't take anything off my wall. This is Swag Corner.
Oh my gosh.
The last thing your Aunt Kathy said to me, Hosh, when I was walking out the front door, she goes, "Are you going to beat up Jeff tonight?" And I said, "No, I've never beat up Jeff. I've corrected his actions a little bit. The way it should be."
Absolutely.
Now here we are 7 minutes into the show, and Jeff's already
caught ass whipping.
Yeah. Love it.
But no, just work. I got an acreage, so I chop wood and stuff like that, and and just having fun, man.
Well, glad that you're willing to ditch the red and white for a night and bring it back to the silver and black.
Hey, let's go.
You never totally ditch the red and white,
Oh, that was nice.
Well timed. Well timed.
Yeah. So anyway, but appreciate you being here, Uncle Mosh. We're going to have a lot of fun.
It's good.
I know
It's
the chat room's already lit up in there. Appreciate everybody that's joining us on the YouTubes. You can join us live each and every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern on the YouTubes there at youtube.com/Raiders Fan Radio. Swag Jeff, who do we got in there tonight? Shout them out.
Oh my gosh, we got so many people in here. We got Chewy's NFL News and Podcast is in there. Paul
Hey, Paul.
is in there. Raider Dad just jumped in there. Our
What's up,
buddy
Josh?
Josh Caminite. Hooligan Nation, YO Raider. Michelle is in there.
Hey,
She's
Michelle.
sculpting, but she's watching. Let's see. Jordan Ford is in there. Jay Jackson is in there.
What's up, Jay?
Let's see here. James Farrell is in there. Enrique Valdez is in there.
What's up, Enrique?
Martin is in there.
Martin.
I think I said. James Furpo is in there. Hooligan Nation is in there. Jason Hunter is in there. The Raider Demon King is in there. And let me scroll up here. Yoshi is in there.
What's up, Yoshi?
Said, "Are we ready for some football?" with a $20 donation with the One Nation
let's go.
Foundation.
Good job, Yosh.
Yeah.
Hey, tell them what we're doing for donations tonight.
Oh, okay. So if you donate more than $20 tonight, we're gonna send you a Raiders car flag.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We brought home a bunch of car flags from Allegiant Stadium for our trip to Vegas last week, and so we're gonna bring those. We're gonna send those out to you. So anything more than $20, and the only reason I'm asking for more than $20 because I got to ship it,
Right.
Because it's gonna cost me money to ship it.
There
to
you go.
So, but anyways, so Yoshi, I know I've got your address, but anybody else in super chats tonight, please make sure that I've got your address. You can send me an email. Just send it directly to me. Send it to Murf. That is MURF at RaidersFanRadio.com. Make sure I get your email and with your address, and I'll get that sent out to you. Also tonight, we're not going to have Sea of Fans because we got Mosh in here tonight. We've got an absolute shit ton of Raider news to talk about. So we wanted to focus on that. But we're going to get to your voicemails and emails tomorrow night. I'm going to be right back in here in the fan cave doing it live. Even if I got to do a selfie, I'll be back here to do emails and voice. Mosh, you want to come back out? I'm going to do emails and voicemails tomorrow because I know we got a bunch of voicemails and a bunch of emails. And so I want to honor those and get those definitely out. But we won't have that tonight. But I do have one I've got to play because I would be remiss now with Mosh here in the studio and your biggest fan calling into the show. So before we get to contact info, let's check in with our good buddy Mojo. As soon as I get it pulled up and here we go.
What up, RFR and Raider Nation? It's your boy Mojo calling in. I got a little inside baseball, reached out and told me that you guys were having Uncle Mosh on the show today. So Mosh, it's going to be great to see you. It's going to be great to hear your voice, brother. I got to say, man, you're really classing the joint up a bit by having him back on. Okay?
Ain't that the
how
truth?
great is it to see Coop back in silver and black?
Yeah.
I saw his presser the other day, and man, seeing him actually smile was a very odd sight. That guy had a legendary RBF. Every time he played for the Raiders, the first time around, man, it was just RBF the entire time. Makes you think back to 2016. That season was so special, man. Oh well. Anyway, as a fellow veteran, Mosh, I just want to give you a personal shout out and thank you for your service. And since we're talking, I wanted to use this platform to mention a vital organization for our brothers and sisters in arms called Mission22.org. They provide incredible support for veterans and their families dealing with PTSD. And most importantly, they're on the front lines of suicide prevention. It's an amazing resource. I encourage anybody to check it out. Last but not least, I want to give a big push to any combat vets listening or watching. Get connected. Find your local VFW. It's a place where you can find guys and gals who just get it. Huge shout out to my post, VFW Post 8002 in Lakeland, Florida. Keep up the good work, fellas. Miss Michelle, love the show. Just win, baby. Mojo out.
Wow, there he is. Legend around here, Mojo is.
So, Mojo's right. Mission22.org is an absolutely outstanding organization. Do you know what the whole thing behind that? There's 22 veterans a day kill themselves. And so Mission 22, that's where they get the name.
Okay.
Is out there on the front lines. It's kind of like the Blitnikovs, you know, with offering the stuff to the to help these girls that are in domestic, but then they've branched out into, you know, helping with all kinds of education and job training and stuff. And Mission 22 is an outstanding outstanding organization and will take any support that they can. So I'm very well aware of them, and they're a great one that I support. So good job on bringing them up, Moj. Good job on bringing them up. Appreciate it. It was so good to hear from you too. Hey, while we're on shameless plugs, you brought up, and I'm sure you guys are going to talk about tonight about your going back to Vegas for the Raider Dad event. Yeah, and which is fantastic. But there's a YouTuber that, now that I'm retired, I get a lot of time. And Jeff finally showed me how to work my phone so I can watch YouTubes. and there's really cool stuff out there other than cat videos. There's all kinds of really cool stuff. Well, so I found the On Gambling, on the guys that do the Vegas Mat and Bluff and VLR and all these guys that I watch. And this new guy, he's a kid, but he does philanthropy Thursdays, and he gives all of his winnings away. And I have, he has said more on multiple occasions. He has said, "Hey, if you've got an idea of where to give your money locally," he's done like for the Las Vegas School Board and the local Las Vegas Animal Shelter and the Las Vegas homeless shelters, and he buys 1,000 pizzas and goes and gives them out, and all kinds of crazy stuff. But how awesome would that be if he started getting inundated on Thursdays with people saying, "Raider Dad, Raider Dad, Raider Dad." Yeah. So I've done it 2 or 3 times, and I told Swaggy about it the other day. So anybody out there that watches Bluff, drop Raider Dad, which is, I can't think of a better organization, local in Las Vegas that needs the money. And the opportunity to get some good stuff done through that.
Absolutely.
So, anyway, just my shameless plug for Raider Dad.
Nice. We'll take it.
Absolutely.
All right, Swag Jeff, hit some contact info, and then I got an idea.
Yes.
Let's talk about the Raiders.
Well, should we do our episode number first before we do that?
Oh, yeah. We got that whole segment.
Yeah, we got a whole segment.
Look at that. Look at me.
There you go.
Look at me without a timeline over here.
There you go. Well, thanks for throwing it to me, Murf. So each and every week we take a significant moment within Raider Nation and relate it back to our episode number. And last week was bad, right?
Why?
Well, because we talked about Jamarcus Russell.
Oh yeah.
It was not a good one.
We're not calling it the name that shall not be said anymore.
No, well, we got a few of those.
You might as well say 7 at the craps table, Jeff.
Oh my gosh, I know. Yeah. So we talked about that a little bit, and so even before the show started, Jordan Ford said, "Hey, no more bad stats over there."
Okay.
So I've got a good one.
Okay.
So in 1985, we're going all the way back to 1985.
Come on.
Hall of Famer Marcus Allen.
Oh, let's
Marcus
go.
Allen set the standard with a single season rushing record for the Raiders, gaining 1,759 yards and scoring 11 rushing touchdowns, of course, starting in all 16 games in 1985. This record still stands as the single season record in rushing yards, but that season, Marcus Allen carried the ball 380 times.
Nicely done, dude.
Swago, you are still bringing it.
How about them apples?
Hey, Swag, do you still have your protege that's helping you?
I do, yeah. My assistant to the assistant to the assistant, T-Hum. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, T-Hum.
T-Hum, I don't see you in the live chat. You slacking?
No, I think he catches up with us on the pod, the podcast.
Via the pod. That's how I always did it.
Yeah.
All right, Swaggo, hit that contact info.
Okay.
Woo! 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 Hey, Raider Nation! You got your old Uncle Mosh here with an updated contact info. So sit up, zip up, shut up, and pay attention. You can call us at 909-345-3346, or as Murf would say, 909-345-3346. How about emailing me? You want to email me? Email me at show@RaidersFanRadio.com. Or what about reaching out to us on some of that social media stuff that Swaggy likes? Try Facebook at Raiders Fan Radio Podcast. The Twit at Twitter at Raiders Fan Radio. Insta something. Instagram at Raiders Fan Radio. The tiki-tiki-taki-talk. TikTok at Raiders Fan Radio. Or what about the Twitch? Some of you out there Twitch. Anyway, Twitch at Raiders Fan Radio. Or if you don't like that, go to the YouTube.
America, go to the YouTube.
YouTube.com/Raiders Fan Radio. Oh my God, if that wasn't enough, go to your podcast provider and search Raiders Fan Radio. Holy crap, that was a lot.
Jeff usually says, yeah, it was.
Oh, yeah, I do sometimes still, yeah.
Good.
Nice.
It's like riding a bike, you know? And Ron the Mater Raider's crazy.
Why is that?
He goes, the last time Mosh was here, Coop was here.
That's why Coop is back.
Almost, I know, right?
That's why he's back. I heard you were coming on.
Mojo called him and said,
he called it a favor.
Mojo called him and said, Coop, you know, we both got 4 letters in our name. We each got 2 O's.
There you go.
So does Moosh.
All right, well, let's start right there, man. Let's start with old Coop coming back, man.
Okay.
I think that's because there's been so many big Raider stories that have happened now this week, and it's seemingly over a 2-day period.
I know, right?
It was like quiet off season or quiet preseason, and then all of a sudden, bam! Like all the Jacoby Myers stuff happens, and then the releases started happening, like yada yada, all that stuff happened. But let's start with Amari Cooper because. I put out a tweet and I basically said, and it felt the Raiders signing him felt very Al Davis to me in the idea that
They all come home.
well, that's true too. But in terms of with Jacoby Myers says that he wants a better contract or trade me pretty much. Okay. So he threatens the organization. And I know it's a tactic and it's commonly employed nowadays. And I get it, all that. Okay. But that said, you're still basically telling your boss, I want things my way or I want out of here. Well, Al never responded well to that. And clearly John Spytek does not respond well to that shit either, because literally within hours of that, he signs Amari Cooper. Now, where some people were like, oh, this stuff was probably in the works. Yeah, I don't doubt that either, that they were probably talking to Cooper. But you can't tell me that within hours of him making that statement, them announcing the signing of Amari Cooper was 100% coincidental. I say bullshit. I think that that's him going, okay, fine. You want out? Well, here's your replacement. So now you want to talk? Well, you know what I mean? Like, okay, we'll see you tomorrow. Kind of a thing. Like,
now you're wide receiver 2 again.
And now you're wide receiver 2 again. And so some people are like, oh, Coop's way past his ability to be number 1. Listen, I am fully aware that the guy's 31 years old. I understand that all these guys have a shelf life, but he was also hurt last year. And the year before he got hurt, he set a record for himself in yards. Before the year before that, he set a record for touchdowns. So give me the guy that is capable of catching 8-9 touchdowns, Jeff, for less than $5 million a year. And, oh, yeah, by the way, it's bringing a former Raider back. I freaking love this whole thing. And regardless of what happens with Jacoby Myers, and I'm not saying he's a direct replacement, but I love the optics of this. I love the productivity we could see out of him. I think it's just a great fit all around, Swagger.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that I loved it. As soon as I saw the notification, I was super fired up. Some people weren't, because the knock that Coop had, especially at the end of his career, the first time with the Raiders, was that, oh, he had a case of the dropsies and, oh, he kind of gave up on the team and all that kind of stuff. But, I think a lot of that was the coaching staff and the environment that was becoming the Oakland Raiders at the time. This was right when John Gruden came back and all this stuff. Did he even play for Gruden? I think he traded him off before that season even started, right?
Yeah, because it was Mack, because he was supposed to bring in Mack. He traded Mack, and then I think...
And he traded Cooper that same offseason.
Was that same offseason?
I think it was that same offseason.
I'll have to check the math on that. But yeah, it was right in there anyways.
I think so. But anyway, that environment in total was not really good. I think there was a lot of people that were ready to get out of the building for sure. But it was really good to hear Cooper in his press conference come out and said, I have unfinished business. I wanted to finish this story with the Raiders. And I thought that was really, really cool that he was able to do that. And I think it's
smiling, like Mojo said. The freaking guy was smiling, Mosh, that was also something associated with him when he was wearing a Raider uniform the first time.
The RBF.
Was that he was kind of a mope. Well, nothing look like it now.
Yeah. Okay. So looking at it, I agree with you on what it looks like on the surface.
Okay.
But I disagree with you in how it worked.
Okay.
And I'll tell you what my thought process is.
Please do.
Nobody goes viral. Nobody lets it out that through their press people, and they all have them, that says, "Oh, I want to be traded or renegotiated or traded or blah 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 blah," without letting it shopping themselves first. Okay. So
that's true.
With being said, that's why I don't necessarily think it happened the way you said. Okay, he says, "Fine, I want to be traded," blah blah blah, and then the next thing you know, they're signing Cooper, because I think Coop also, at the same time as he's saying that and putting his feelers out, Coop is having his people putting his feelers out back to the Raiders. So it just so happens that the two comets collided.
Okay.
The two things coincided with him saying, "I want out," or "I want to be traded," or "I want Baltimore," or I'm going to take my shit and go home, whatever. Fine, because we got this other thing in the works. And don't kid yourself ever thinking that they don't always have something in the works.
Oh, yeah.
Because everything that's done in pro football is through attrition. Because like you said, shelf life. Everybody's got a shelf life. Or, the next great thing that's going to happen, he's going to fall down and break his wrist. And be out for 8 months. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. But anyway, and
put that evil on us, Ricky Bobby.
Well, not everybody can be, Randy Savage and teach yourself to throw with the other hand.
Right.
And make it to the Cardinals.
Well, and some people get the ball snapped into their pinky finger. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Remember that?
Exactly. Fix this.
Yeah. Speaking of 2016.
But you know what? Yeah. Isn't that hard to imagine? That's been 9 years.
It's your
oldest child wasn't even born.
Oh, yeah.
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
That's so long ago.
That's when we started this now version of this show, because we always dabbled in podcasting. Frankly, since 2012, we've been doing some form of thing or whatever, and you were always doing voiceovers for me and Sonny and all that kind of shit. But we started the official version of this show, which has evolved to what it is now, and it was in October, I think, of 2016.
Yeah.
It was like this amazing season for the Raiders. And I'm like, listen, we end up talking about the Raiders when we do these other podcasts anyways. Let's just go ahead and start doing a Raiders show. Especially because the team is phenomenal right now. And then the pinky happened. Yeah. And then Derek's back happened on Christmas Eve. And you know what I mean? The wheels came off.
I love that story that cousin Sonny tells, that he had the game taped. And then somebody dropped the ball and said, by the way, it's too bad about your team. Sorry.
The worst. No, it was the worst.
That was you, right?
Well, I had one similar. So I had a buddy of mine from back home sent me a text, and he said, "Hey, sorry about your quarterback." Well, if you remember, so for those of you who don't know, we're from California, but we live in Middle Tennessee. So somebody sent me a text and said, "Sorry about your quarterback." And I'm thinking, that's because that same day, Marcus Mariota got hurt.
Right.
The same leg, the same everything.
Everything.
Like 10 minutes apart from each other.
Yes. And so I'm thinking, this guy, because I had heard from people at church and so.
Sure.
I had heard that freaking Mariota got hurt. And so I'm like, he must be thinking about Marcus Mariota. And then I got home and I had the game recorded. And next thing I know, I see Derek freaking laying, and I'm like, son of a bitch. I'm like, unbelievable that Derek went down. And then that was it. And then it was like, here's what, I'm going to tie it back to this, to Mari Cooper thing. As great as 2016 was, Mosh, you'll remember this, 2017 started off gangbusters.
Absolutely.
It was started off incredible until that Monday night game against the Washington then Redskins. Then that's when that season absolutely fell apart. And who knows? We still don't know to this day
what happened in the locker room.
All that. We still don't know.
Yep.
But it's when we think about good Raider teams, great Raider teams, since we went to the Super Bowl, Mosh, in 2002 or 02 season, 03 game. Since then, it's been we had 2016, we got 2021. That's it. There was when we got this year with Derek and Amari and all those guys, and then the year that you and I were there to watch the Raiders, take out the Chargers and clinch that spot, the Derek Carr timeout, famously thing of that. So to bring back a player, even if he's, entering into the twilight of his career, whatever, that's where I mentioned like the optics of it. It connects us to good times.
It's Gruden-esque, dude.
Right?
Remember how excited we were when Chucky was coming back?
Yeah.
It's very Gruden-esque. It's another sport reference, but when Willie Mays finished up with the Giants, they traded him to the Mets. And it was a huge game, and everybody was chanting Mays, bring him in to do pitch hitting, and I think he got a single or something like that. But just going home to New York where you started, it wasn't the New York Giants, but it was the Mets, and it was a New York team, and they were playing in Shea Stadium, so it's kind of the same thing. Cooper's not. He's not ready to retire yet. You ask him, I'm sure he'd say he's not ready to retire, but it's kind of like that. And even a little bit, even though his stints were small, it's a lot like when every time your guy comes back to the Raiders, it's there's
Compton?
Yeah.
I
don't say his name. He broke my chair that time. There's what do Will Compton and Ramon have in common? They both broke my chair.
Yeah.
The point is that there's something in the mystique of their silver and black about coming back.
It really is. Well, and Jeff, I think it's obviously to a lesser extent. We're not talking about a Hall of Famer and an all-time great here. But I think Mosh makes a fair point. We talk about John Gruden, or even like you think about the enthusiasm we had when Charles Woodson came back.
Sure.
Yes. It was like, you know what I mean? When these guys come back, listen, I'm sorry, man. The silver and black thing, so much of it is about tradition and history and all that. And so when you're able to connect those dots back, it just feels good. Now, am I sitting here trying to sell everybody that it's going to work out? I don't know. I mean, we'll see. I mean, I'm going to have faith in it. I'm going to be optimistic with an outlook, but who knows if this thing is going to work out great or not. But until it doesn't, I'm going to be excited about it,
Yeah, well, and when you kind of you just mentioned that he's on the twilight end of his career. The dude is 31.
Well, entering the twilight.
Okay, Terry McLaurin just got a $96 million contract, and he's 30.
Well,
you know what I mean?
That's true, dude. Good call, Jeff.
This guy, when he was healthy, the last 2 seasons set his career high records. Like, this dude could come in.
As Graf would say, talk that shit.
I'm telling you, man, this guy could still come in and be a number one guy. I know a lot of people are saying, well, he's lost his step, he's lost his edge. No, he hadn't. He just got hurt last year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, this dude he's got a lot of juice left in the tank, and wants
before that, he was a Brown.
A Brown and exactly, a Brown and a freaking cowboy and all that. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm telling you, man, I think he's got a lot of juice left in the tank, and so mix him with, because to kind of go back a little bit to the Jacoby Myers thing a little bit. All these guys, they come out and they say, I want to be traded. I loved your point, Mosh, about that. Coming out, like, they put their feelers out first,
right,
before that happens, and I think that's true. But then, how many people do you actually see get traded at that point? Not very many.
Not very many.
Not very many.
Right. Because a lot of, and I didn't mean to interrupt you, but a lot of them.
It's okay. I'm used to it.
Yeah, you are. Because a lot of them want crazy ass amounts of money.
100%.
And so they can put their feelers out for all this big bazillions of dollars, and everybody goes, maybe you should stay where you're at.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, no, we're not gonna pay you that. You're not that good.
They want guarantees and they want length.
Right.
That's the two things. Like, you get length.
Who doesn't want that?
Oh man!
It's like the craps table. Come on, Harley.
Instead, I get a week 6.
Yeah, you do. Oh my gosh!
On a good day,
you better spit it out.
You motherfucker! Oh man! You remember when I used to like Jeff? You remember that?
Oh, yeah, a long time ago.
I can't
back during
remember.
Coop's first reign. When Jeff was a Titans fan.
That's right.
When he was that baby blue boy.
Oh, nice.
Oh my gosh! Hey, Swag Jeff, hit a break, and then so you brought up the quarterback. It's time to talk about the quarterback.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Hey, let's hear from a guy we just met a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
Hey, this is Pete Koch.
Oh, nice.
Former Los Angeles Raiders. Yeah, back in the old days, baby. And you're listening to Murf and Uncle Mosh, who happens to have the same hair as me. Check it out. Raiders Fan Radio.
Nobody enjoyed a good Donnybrook more than sixth-year linebacker Phil Villapiano.
Linebacker, number 41, Phil Villapiano.
This is Phil Villapiano, and you're listening to Raiders Fan Radio.
All right, let's go back. Let's hit that story real quick because this is fun. We haven't talked about our Vegas trip, but just real quick before we jump into the Kenny Pickett thing, I do want to talk a little bit about what we did last week. So we were in Las Vegas, not this past weekend, but the weekend before. We're out there for the Raiders-Niners preseason game, and we were out there. The most important reason was to support the good folks at Raider Dad.
Absolutely,
monetarily, we support that organization. And with that, they're able to put on a tailgate. They put out a tailgate opportunity for 59 kids and their families. So it's not even just the kids now. It's the parents or the grandparents, whoever the parental figures are in their lives. And they're providing this tailgate for them and then taking them into the game. And so we have so many of our good friends that are out there. Alex from Silver and Black Collectibles is out there. Tons of giveaways for the kids. Jay from Jay's Gourmet is out there.
Right.
Happy to report that Jay's health is good now.
Good.
He was in a cancer battle and he's very close to being in remission. And so he's doing very, very well. So there's a lot of people that we know outside of the show. Gil is out there. Absolutely. Is the one that supplies the tickets for us. Obviously, Josh Camonite, the founder of Raider Dad, is out there. I mean, so it's a wonderful thing. A lot of the Raider super fans come out there. Kevin the Raider Nerd makes his way out there. Like
we got to talk to Graf. Graf rolled through and all
Graf
that.
came out and sat down with us and actually sat down and did a show on Silver and Black today with all of us. And so shout out Scott Branson, who helps out a lot as well in supporting that organization. But so anyways, it's this wonderful event. The kids are amazing. The families are amazing. It's an incredible organization, and it just tugs at your heartstrings when you see that in action. So all the money that we get around here goes to our nonprofit, which is the One Nation Foundation, and we support these various Raiders-related charities. So first and foremost, thank you for your generosity, Raider Nation, and for what we're able to do every year in supporting these organizations. But then the fan portion of this, just as being Raider fans out there in Vegas for that weekend, it's also alumni weekend.
Yes.
And we were staying at the W Hotel, which is where all the alumni events were. So when you go down into the lobby bar, there is literally Hall of Famers sitting around chit-chatting. I got a picture with Randy McClanahan, Dave Rowe, and Matt Millen. And for those of you that don't know, I've never met, I'm 6'4", 225 pounds. I look like a shrimp compared to these men. And these dudes in their 70s. And they are still massive human beings. It's crazy to me. And so we, at one point, were walking through the lobby.
Yeah.
And Jeff goes, "Hey, is that Pete Koch?" And I go, "It sure is." And so for those of you who don't know who Pete Koch is, Pete Koch was a defensive lineman for multiple teams in the NFL, but finished his career with the Los Angeles Raiders. And then went on to a movie career. And now he does commercials. He does all kinds of stuff.
Santa Claus.
I was just going to say, one of the best Santa Claus outfits and look ever.
Absolutely. He was also the big Swede in Heartbreak Ridge, if you've ever seen that Clint Eastwood movie. So he's had this story. He's a trainer for Benicio del Toro and Topher Grace and a bunch of Hollywood people and whatnot. The guy's just freaking awesome. We love Pete. And he's been on the show numerous times. Anyways, so Jeff goes, "Is that Pete Koch over there?" And I go, "Sure is. Let's go say hi." So we walk over to the bar. Pete's sitting there talking to this guy, and he's like, "Hey, Murf, what's going on?" We kind of, dap it up, whatever. And he goes, "Hey, do you know Killer?" I'm like, "Oh, yeah." And he's like, Henry Lawrence is sitting there just chatting with freaking Pete Koch. And so we talked to Henry Lawrence for what, Jeff? 20 freaking minutes?
I was about to say it's about 30 minutes.
And
no kidding.
And you know me, I talk a lot, and it was 18 minutes of Henry talking. It was awesome. Just walking around this place, and I want to throw it to you, Jeff. Just walking around, there was numerous times. How many times did we just stop and not like eavesdrop in a creepy way, but you hear Raider legends talking, telling Super Bowl stories and shit. And we're just standing there listening, just like we're waiting for an opportunity maybe to ask for a picture or whatever.
Yeah.
Fascinating stuff, man. It was Mosh, you'd have died. It was incredible being around that event.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I'll never miss that. I'll never miss the Raider Dad event. You know, not only is it amazing what we do with Raider Dad and to see, to see the lives that we're changing and the relationships that Raider Dad is helping develop and stuff between kids and their parental figures and stuff like that. But as a fan, Alumni Weekend and Raider Dad lines up perfectly. I got off the elevator to get up to our floor. I was going back upstairs to check on Murf or something like that. I think he was napping or whatever. Or no, he was still asleep because it was in the morning. I went and got his coffee.
That's it. Yeah.
What was it about? Was it about 1 p.m.?
Yeah. No, so I get off our floor on the elevator, and I'm standing right at the door ready to get off because I got my coffees in one hand, and it opens up, and Marcus Allen. Marcus Allen. And I go, well, good morning, Marcus Allen. How are you? And he goes, good, man. You okay? And I'm like, yeah, man, I'm doing great, man. And this was Sunday right before the game. And I'm like, well, hey, have a great time today. He goes, hey, you too, man. Yeah, take care. But that story about Peacock and Killer and all, that was incredible. Because he was telling stories about Madden. It was so incredible. And just hearing him talk about Kenny and Freddie and, Cliffy and all these guys, hearing him talk about all these folks, it was so incredible. And as a fan, and you're long-winded anyway, but even you were silent for the most part. Everyone was, because we're all standing there with our mouths on the floor.
What am I going to say to Henry Lawrence that's going to impress him?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, no, I just want to listen to that man talk.
Exactly.
Or even at one of the end of the nights, it was you and me and Graff hanging out. Of course, Graff and
Stu
Schweigert are tight. And so we're just sitting there, just sitting on the freaking, on the booth there.
We're about to go to bed, and Stu Schweigert goes, hey, no, come on back. No, we got to talk. We got to talk. Yeah. So he sits down. Hey, tell me about what you got going on with the podcast. Tell us what you got going on with the foundation and all that. It was so badass, man.
It's, it reminded me, Mosh, and we love to tell this story, Jeff and I do.
About LaMonica?
Yeah, because one of our favorite things was because where we have, I have obviously ultimate reverence for Daryl LaMonica and a lot of these Raider players. But even for me as a 52-year-old man, I don't remember the Raiders' first Super Bowl. I was 3 freaking years old.
Right.
But you do, and you do have a connection to these players. And what, Charles Woodson is to so many people, Daryl was that guy for you, or Freddie was that guy for you. And so when we all met Daryl LaMonica, but then you and him kind of peeled off and were talking, it was
about fishing.
Fishing.
We weren't even talking about football. We were talking about fishing.
But I love those experiences that you have with these legends. And sadly, Daryl passed away that following March. But that had to have been did you just feel like you were 12 years old again or something?
No, I did it first when we were sitting down and we were talking about football. And then when we got off on other stuff, I'm like, this is just an old dude that's right on, And he's leaning in and he's talking in his
he's got his hands around your head and all that stuff.
Yeah, and he's going and I'm going and it was like we were old best friends, And it was because they say never meet your idols because you'll be disappointed. Bullshit.
Same.
Yeah,
I agree.
I mean, and it all depends on who you idolize.
Well, that's true.
And, so, I mean, my brother, he in the picture right behind you, he emulated everything he did. My brother was a hell of a baseball player. Mays. And when he met Sonny's dad, when he met Mays, he was so disappointed because Mays just kind of blew him off, whatever, But it was but not Daryl LaMonica. I mean, he was great. He was great.
Well, and so many of those Raider legends. I mean, we were walking through the lobby, and Jeff and I were just going down to go gamble or whatever. And here come Fred and Angela. Here come Fred and Angela Biletnikoff just walking through, and of course, and they're like, "Hey guys, how you doing?" And
yeah.
We sit there, and Freddie told us a little something about what he'd been up to, and we had a big laugh and stuff. And I'll save that for him to repeat, not us. But it was really funny, man. They're all so personable and kind. And I mean, I haven't had a negative experience with those legendary Raiders. I'm not talking. These aren't. even with the younger guys, frankly, have always been pretty cool as well. Like, I don't know if that's a
I've had one negative experience.
Well, because don't pin that on Art Shell solely.
I've got a picture of that.
Oh my gosh, that was freaking funny.
I thought, okay, I'm gonna die right now because I'm gonna have to try to pull Art Shell off of Jeff. And it's not going to go well for me because Art had backup. His wife was right there. And I thought she's going to take her high heel off and just pound me with it. But anyway, Jeff and I got out of there with our lives. But you know, that very same night, you and me, and I think Josh was there, and Fred and Fu, when we were standing in the lobby, and Fu started yucking it up and talking about when, you know, Fred and them, and I just barely got invited back, you know, and I mean, just the personalities that come out when they let their guard down, and the big shots that get it, that embrace their fans and know that they got to where they were at for their talent, but they didn't get to where they were at without the fame of their fans. You know, their fame level was because of their fans. And so they get the giving back and talking to them. And I mean, you can't beat that.
You can't beat that. Greg Townsend was like that. I mean, like, just super cool.
We got to meet Kenny King this year.
Kenny King was great.
That was a really cool one. And he was great.
Kenny was like, who should have been either him or Rod Martin, a Super Bowl MVP. But even he was like, who are you guys? Tell me about you. And we're like, oh, well, we're friends.
Yeah, we're friends with your son.
And so, like, it was just just super, super nice. And I will take that back. There's only one guy, but we've turned it into a joke now, which is cool. There's only one guy that was I had a little bit of a put off, exchange with, and that was Plunkett. And it was twice. It was once, but way before the podcast. It was once. Me and Sonny are standing in the concourse at the Oakland Coliseum, and Jim Plunkett is coming walking by. And I go, Jim. And he goes, yeah. And we go, can we get a picture? And he goes, sure. So my buddy Harley's there. I give my phone to my buddy Harley. I go, take a picture, Harley. And so we're standing there, and Jim's like waiting, and Harley's trying to figure out how to take the picture. And he goes, is this going to take much longer? And Harley goes, no, I'll get it. Hold on. And Sonny looks over to Plunkett while he's waiting for Harley to get the camera ready. And he goes, thank you for your service, sir. And Plunkett looks at Sonny and goes, I wasn't in the military.
Sonny just didn't know what to say.
He didn't know what to say. And so anyways, but then Jim, we've had trouble getting him on the show when he's there at the Blitnikoff thing, and I end up chasing the guy, whatever. So now we've turned it into a joke, and now it's actually kind of a friendly exchange now. But I'm like, Jim, why do you avoid me like the plague, man? Like, what the hell's the matter with you? You know what I mean? Like, but anyways, but it's fine. But that was the only one that I would say was borderline. Outside of that, like
you've had 3 or 4 or 5 dealings with Plunkett, and you've never mentioned that your great uncle was center
at Lick High School,
at James Lick High School, for all those years when he played.
I need to remember to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what I'm.
Go kick his ass.
No, this is why I put him next to you.
Yeah. No kidding.
This is why I'm on the other side of the fan.
Remind me to give him one later.
Yeah. Okay.
Fresh one's coming this way. All right, let's talk about Kenny Pickett. Hit a break, and we'll talk about Kenny.
This is Raiders Fan Radio. I'm Brent Musburger, and I don't care who wins as long as it's the Raiders.
Did I really just spill a drink on you?
Yeah, you spilled a cocktail all over me.
Is that how much on you is it?
It's in my shoe. It's in my everything. My brand new shoes. Oh yeah.
Critique yourself. What am I saying now?
So Raiders Fan Radio. This is Swag Jeff and Michelle.
Raiders Fan Radio. Okay. All right. Here we go.
All right.
Hey, my name is Lincoln Kennedy, and you are listening to Raider Fan Radio with Murf, Swag. I'm sorry. Let's do that.
No, it's okay.
Swag.
Swag Jeff.
Swag Jeff. Michelle.
And Michelle,
That's
yes.
simple.
Yeah, that's like
Murf,
easy
Swag,
one.
Jeff, Michelle. Okay.
There we go.
This
Who's
is
the
Lincoln
other guy?
Kennedy. You're listening to Raider Fan Radio with Murf, Swag, Jeff, and Michelle.
Thank you very much,
Lincoln.
sir.
Appreciate you so much.
That was great.
Hey,
yeah.
thanks a lot.
Appreciate you.
Really appreciate
Give
it.
it up for the legend, Lincoln.
Yeah, that was
Hey,
great.
man,
The
that's
legend
awesome.
himself.
Thank you for your
That's
service,
so
Lincoln.
cool.
That's funny.
Shout out the chat room, Jeff. But before you do, I want to read Paul's line in there. He says, "You weren't shy with Mike Haynes." No, I think that's the closest I've ever come to making love with a man.
That's the closest I've ever been to cheating on Valerie. No kidding.
Man, I lost my mind when I did you see that one, Mosh? We were live on the show. And our spot is great now where Angela has us for the event. It's right in front of the red carpet. And here comes Mike Haynes walking in. And I just went instant 12-year-old and went, Mike Haynes! And just like jumped up. And it was like slow motion because they're on the red carpet. So all the cheerleaders are there and the celebrities that are coming in. And everybody just kind of does like a... like this, like look over, and was like staring me down. And like,
you're doing this from Radio Row.
Yeah, I'm doing.
You're screaming at him.
I'm screaming at Mike Haynes, and he comes over, and I'm like, needless to say, I'm a big fan. I'm like, please, will you join us for a minute? And he's like, sure. And so he sat down with us for about 10 minutes. Super nice guy, like the nicest.
Nice.
Guy. Looks like he could give you freaking 20 snaps right now.
Well, you said that about Koch too. That he looked like he was in phenomenal shape. Yeah,
Pete don't age. If Pete didn't have gray hair, you wouldn't know Pete was, because he's what? You all are like similar age, even, I think.
That dude's built like a brick shit house.
Well, no,
man.
he's a little younger than I am. He's at he's at that level where I was built like that when I was his age.
Oh, yeah. I remember that. Yeah.
Back when I used to go to the gym, Swaggy.
All right, but shout out to the chat room and let's talk about Kenny Pickett.
Oh my gosh! All right, Paul is in there. Corey Hagan is in there. OG Daniel is in there. Frankie Mosqueda, Hooligan Nation, Iron Bar is in there. Ron the Mater Raider, Martin. Let's see here. Dick Harder is in there. Said, hey, says, is Santa on the show with a $10 donation to the One Nation Foundation?
Thank you.
I want half.
Yeah, right. Raider Loco is in there. Raider 27 is in there. The Wolf of Walnut is in there. Wyo Raider is in there. Yeah, we got the whole crew, man.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. All right, well, let's go ahead and kick off this. Or we could even go to like whatever, just like the recent moves that have gone on. So Aiden O'Connell busts his wrist, right?
Sure.
Breaks his wrist, has a little bit of trouble, needless to say. And the guy wasn't playing well when this happened. I would never wish injury upon anybody, but frankly, this might have been like what Mosh was talking about earlier. One of those moves that was probably already being kicked around before this went down. And so the Raiders make a move for a backup quarterback. We know what Pete's philosophy is on backups, Jeff. He's said numerous times he wants an experienced backup. He doesn't want, because if it would have been left up to you and me, we would have got Hendon Hooker.
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
100%.
But he said,
and a lot of people wanted, we'll trade for Shador and all, you know what I mean?
That's not what Pete wants. Pete wants somebody experienced. That way, if your starter goes down, you got somebody that knows how to run the deal to go in there and cover for him. Now,
what's Mariota doing right now?
Well,
he's backing up Jaden Daniels.
He's
one of the best backups in the league right now.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, he's
exactly.
killer.
There we have it.
Yeah, and he's probably going to get a ring or sniff one anyways this year because Commanders are freaking stacked.
Yeah.
But anyways, and so we knew that was going to be, so this shouldn't come to any surprise to anybody that this was the type of move that they made. And anybody that's like griping about the 5th round pick, it's a 5th round pick, y'all. Like, are we really going to get in our feelings about a 5th round pick? Like, when was the last time a 5th round pick, not named Hunter Renfrow or whatever, was significant when it came to the Raiders? It's so freaking, the draft is throwing darts anyways, let alone when by the time you get to the 5th round. So it's not like they're sacrificing a bunch of capital. And the other thing too, Jeff, we're going to get compensatory picks. We're going to get compensatory picks for who? Trayvon Merrick, Nate Hobbs, Bob Spillane.
Yep.
Those are all going to be 5th, 6th rounder type thing. 100%. We're going to have tons of draft capital.
We good.
We're fine.
Yeah.
We're absolutely fine. I think it's an absolutely fair move. Do I love Kenny Pickett as a quarterback? He's fine, but he's a backup. We don't need, you know what I mean? We don't need Kenny Stabler. We don't need Jim Plunkett. We don't need Rich Gant. We don't need that. We need somebody that can bet. We need David Humm.
There you go.
know what I'm saying? Like,
there you
that's
go.
what we
An
need.
experienced cagey guy that is mobile. Shout out Mo Moten, the functional mobility.
There you go.
This guy can get around. He can do his thing, and he's also 15-10 as a starter in the NFL. That's not. Don't stick your nose up at that either. Like the
and
dude,
he's a Super Bowl champion.
and he's a Super Bowl champion. So yeah, man. So no, I think it was a very smart move. I really like it. It makes me feel a little bit better just in case Geno goes down. That we have a guy that can manage the team and all that. You put him in the mix with Chip Kelly and all that. I think this is going to work out just fine.
Yeah, man. I think so too, man. I like the move. I think it's a good move, and I like the way that our I'll spit it out here. I like the way that our offense is fleshed out. I'm going to go ahead and let's go over the 53-man roster here, Jeff.
Oh, okay.
As soon as it comes up here, it's taking its time. Okay, here we go. So Geno Smith obviously is your starting quarterback, as he should be, right?
Uh-huh.
Then you've got Kenny Pickett, of course, is going to back him up, and then they've still got Aiden listed on there, of course, because he's on injured reserve. But I saw that we retained Cam Miller onto the practice squad. He's P squad. So that's how our quarterback room is going to round out. I think that I'm comfortable with that. I like it. Do you? I mean, are you
100%?
Okay,
yes.
I thought so. This one is interesting to me. The running back room is Ashton Genty leads us off, as we all knew it was going to be. Zamir is right there.
Dude had a hell of a preseason, man.
And I was screaming Zamir all offseason, too. I thought that it was some fans were giving up on him just a wee bit too early because he demonstrated that he could handle business when he took all those reps for Josh Jacobs. So, I mean, I thought that,
put him in the right scheme.
There you go. And the dude was a monster at Georgia in short yardage. And so, while Ashton Genty has some punch to him, give me the guy that's also got some freaking muscle at the goal line.
So they got him listed at 2 ahead of Raheem Mostert.
Yeah, well, I don't know if this is
isn't like a depth chart.
Well, and you know what's interesting? And so speaking of that too, but I do want to bring that up, that you brought up depth chart. Did you know that? I did not know this. This is new. This was news to me, and I learned about this because I listened to Silver and Black today. Shout out our buddies, Scott Gilbranson and Mo Moten. Did you know that the depth chart that is released on the Raiders website is not put out by the Raiders?
Really?
It's put out by the media.
Well, go figure.
Put out by the media. And the reason that they do it is that
Vinny's putting together the friggin' depth chart.
Whoever, somebody, yeah. So
or Hondo or whoever.
Whoever. They're putting it out there because that reflects what they're seeing in practice day in, day out for people that are taking reps. So while we're going over this list here, this doesn't. Yes, I don't think this is in order of the quote Raiders depth chart, but you can't even trust the damn depth chart either.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So you got Ashton Genty, Zamir White, then you got Mostert, and then this was interesting. Your boy Laube made it.
Sure did.
But it cost a roster spot for your boy McCormick, who got claimed by the Niners. He gone.
Oh, yeah, he gone.
He gone.
Yep.
So are you good with our running back room?
Good with the running back room. I think Laube is because, I mean, once you get to the 4th running back, I mean, it's just how do you play on teams?
There you go.
That's
Yeah,
really
it's
the name
teams.
of the game. And Dylan Laube's a great teamer. I mean, the guy was returning punts, returning kick. Like, I mean, the dude's solid, man. So no, I understand why Laube got the spot over McCormick.
Absolutely. All right, so then we got wide receivers. Dante Thornton, of course, which you love.
Absolutely.
Tennessee guy. Jacoby Myers, obviously. I think that's a deal is going to get done. I don't see him making it out of Las
He ain't
Vegas.
getting out of there.
And he really doesn't have a lot of leverage because of like what I brought up around all the compensatory picks. We're already going to get, like, what are you going to trade Jacoby Myers for? Like a 5th rounder? Like,
yeah, you ain't going to get much.
At the absolute top end.
Yeah.
Like, so he doesn't have a lot of leverage. He's going to
got no leverage.
He's going to end up signing. So you got Thornton, Myers, Cooper, Tucker, and then Jack Besh. I love that because it doesn't thrust. Here's what I was worried about if we were to have moved on from Myers and it became Thornton and Besh, or Thornton, Tucker, Besh combination thereof. I thought that was going to thrust Besh into a role a little too soon. I think that where he is obviously the Jacoby Myers replacement because their skill sets are very, very similar.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it's still based on what we're hearing. I'm not at practice every day, but from what we're hearing, he's still not quite there. Like you listen to guys like
Sure.
Ted Wynn, who are really detailed and breaking down film and mechanics. And all that
Sure.
stuff. He thinks that Besh is still a little ways away.
And that's okay.
That's fine. Give him a year or two is fine. Like there's nothing
Yeah.
wrong with that. That's
Now,
very
Thornton,
simple.
on the other hand, he ready.
Dude, he looks
That
ready.
dude is ready.
He looks ready.
That dude's ready. I'm telling you, man, give this guy 2 years. He's the number one receiver.
Dude, he might end up being that this year.
He might be that this year.
I mean, shit.
And him and Gino, they got a nice little thing going, man.
Yeah,
like they got
do.
some. I mean, dude, that pass and catch
bro.
at the freaking Cardinals game,
gorgeous.
Like that was a thing of beauty,
Absolutely,
man.
man.
So now I'm super fired up for him.
Well, and absolutely, and I think these wide receivers are going to thrive because a point I was making on social media all week long was that it doesn't matter who you have at wide receiver unless you have Justin Jefferson or Jamar Chase or something like that.
Sure.
Okay. For this Raiders team, it doesn't matter who's at wide receiver. Even the most productive wide receiver is going to be third in terms of touches and targets because this offense is going to go through Brock Bowers and Ashton Genty. That's the end. Like, that's it. And then backing up Brock Bowers, you got, of course, Michael Mayer and then Ian Thomas, who I think is awesome. I love Ian Thomas. So I love our tight end room, but I think that it's absolutely going to give these wide receivers an opportunity to thrive. And that's where I say, like guys like Thornton and Trey Tucker, you watch, dude, they're going to see high levels of production in this offense because people are going to start focusing on Bowers and Genty. And what's that going to do? It's going to let them run wide open downfield. Go ahead and give us single coverage against those guys. Well, torture. They'll absolutely torture your ass.
Absolutely, man, for sure. You know, the only thing. So, and you know, we're talking about all the releases and cuts and stuff like that. I wonder if they ever make if they release somebody or something, like who would you release in order to go get Hunter Renfrow back?
Well,
would you carry 7 receivers and cut Dylan Laube? Jesus.
I'm back.
Knocking shit off the walls.
Well, you put me in this corner. I've never had restraints before.
It's my fault.
Well, that's a way to do it.
I fixed that shit.
Oh my
camera?
Hey, Chef B just became a member for 26 months.
Oh my gosh.
26 months, he says. Look at that. Over 2 years has flown by.
Oh, thank you, Chef B.
Wow, Chef B. Thank you.
What's 26 times 5, Mosh?
That would be 140.
That's a $140 donation to the One Nation Foundation.
Wow, man. That's killer.
Much respect. Thank you. All right, so then we go to this will be fun. So then we go to the offensive line, Swag Jeff.
Okay.
Colton Miller, Dylan Parham, Jordan Meredith, JPJ, DJ Glaze, Alex Kappa, Caleb Rogers, Thayer Munford, Charles Grant, and Will Putnam.
Yeah, hold up on Thayer Munford because he gone, bro.
He gone. So Thayer Munford got cut. So now's where you can go get Hunter Renfrow. There's your spot.
Oh, there's your spot. Yes.
There you go.
Yes.
See, that's called the segue, Mosh, in the business.
Oh.
I learned segues from you. Okay, Mosh, let's go to you for the defensive side of the ball. Okay? Because it kicks off. This is absolutely where this team, not only on defense, starts and stops, but this team is going to go because of number 98 anchoring the defensive line there for the Las Vegas Raiders, and that is Max Crosby. To fill out, we got Jonah Lalu, Adam Butler, Malcolm Kuntz, Tyree Wilson, Thomas Booker the fourth, which is awesome. He's been doing great. Like Fotu, Charles Snowden, JJ Pagase, Tucker Hemingway, our last two guys being our draft picks this year. But talk about that, Mosh. Do you think you're going to see a return now with these other guys that are either emerging or going to demand more blocks, like a guy like Thomas Booker? Is that going to free Max up to just go be Max?
You know, are we into the 5th year with Max? 4th year? Or
no, more than that. No, it's like 7 or 8 now.
No, it's not.
Yeah, oh, yes, it is. Yes, sir. Yeah, I'll look it up.
He was there he was there in.
Yeah, I'll look it up for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll talk while you look that up. My point is this. you've got that foundation, you've got that rock, you've got that in the middle, right? My concern is what I think has been everybody's concern for years and years and years is our secondary.
2019 was when he was drafted.
So 6 years, I was right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this will be your number 6.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, he was drafted in 19.
19. So 19,
so
20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. So year 7.
Yeah. So, but that concerns me. And it has been a mark on us for years. Is our secondary, So you can apply pressure. You can apply pressure on, and I won't say his name because I hate him. But that quarterback that's on Travis Kelce's team. But when you got a mobile guy like that and they can get away and they can still have pressure and he can still chuck the ball and scramble and do the things that they can do. If we can apply all the pressure we want from the front, but if we're not having folks in the middle and in the back to help add the pressure, I think we might be in a little bit of trouble.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm glad you said that because while we are, typically a fan fest over here, that's been one of the big things that Raider Nation has been talking about
for years.
But then even in this offseason is that where I look at this defensive line and it feels pretty stout to me.
Don't get me wrong. I 100% agree with that statement.
Okay, and that's Pete Carroll football. That's get Bennett to the quarterback. Get those guys. Let the Seahawks. How did they beat the shit out of the Broncos? And Peyton Manning was by beating the hell out of Peyton Manning. Right. So our linebacking core looks really good the way that it's shaped out. Landon Roberts, Jermaine Pratt, Devin White, Jamal Adams. I love the way he's playing.
Jamal Adams,
Tommy Eichenberg, and then of course Cody Lindenberg. But then here's where fits into what you're talking about. Cornerbacks, Eric Stokes, Darian Porter, Kyu Blue Kelly, shout out the Las Vegas native making the spot, Darnay Holmes, and DeCamerion Richardson. That's fair, Mosh. Swaggo, I get what they're wanting to do. They're wanting to trust that the pass rush is going to get there quick enough to where these guys don't have to cover forever.
Right.
They're all big and they're all fast. So should the ball get downfield, there's a lot of opportunity for pass breakups. They're certainly going to be able to keep up with guys. Nobody's going to get outran in this secondary, but it's unproven and it's fair, man. Because when we go to the safeties, Jeremy Chin, Isaiah Polamalu, Chris Smith II, and Thomas Hart, feels pretty good.
Good at safety.
Corners, we might even still have a move or two left in us.
Well, and that, and I was, kind of sort of playing about the whole Hunter Renfrow thing, bringing him back and all that stuff. But if there's a roster spot that needs to be filled, that's the spot that needs to be filled. We need to go grab a guy like, Stephon Gilmore or somebody like that's still open and still on the market. Because I saw, I think Xavier Howard, just signed a deal somewhere.
Okay.
It
feels like we need a KG vet back there. Feels like we need somebody like that.
Gotta have one.
Well, you got your KG vet on the line. You got Crosby, 9'8" on the line.
Yeah.
And that's gonna play itself. I mean, he's look at the guys he's had around him. We've in his 6 or 7 years, whatever we decided it was, he's had some greats with him.
Gakwe was great when he was there.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So that's never really been an issue.
I got you. Okay.
But that's just one facet of defense.
Yeah.
You can't ignore the other stuff. You can't ignore the middle and the deep. And we got to be able to be there. And I don't know. I do know we have to improve in those two sections. It's front, middle, and deep. And if you're studs in one, but you're lacking in the other, you're going to get beat every time.
Well, we're going to see a lot of 38-33 football games is probably what we're looking at.
100%. And let's and bring in Coop back. When they going against him in practice, this is going to be a great learning experience. Can you imagine how good the defense was back in the day when when Fred Blitnikoff was running routes against them? Remember when Fu was telling us about Fred when he was saying, yeah, Fred would run and he'd run. He wasn't the fastest guy, but he wouldn't juke you, but he'd kind of move one way and then just kind of steer you out of bounds. And then he'd go to the post,
yeah.
you know? But I mean, you bring a cagey vet, somebody like Coop that you're going to go against day in, day out, they're going to learn from that. You know, I mean, the offense learns from the defense. The defense learns from the offense. Yes, I know there's a practice squad. Yes, I get that. But there are things that they can that they can teach each other.
No, but that's a good point because there ain't nobody on the freaking P squad going to carve up routes like Amari Cooper. And that's even as much shit as I gave the guy about his hands back in the day.
Doesn't matter.
That route running is spectacular.
That route running is spectacular.
But if you can stay with him, you know, and take that into a game situation. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. It's going to be interesting,
but
man.
That's for me. That's my concern. I mean, I've always loved Max in the D line. It's never been the trenches has never been an issue with me. It's always been
those back skill positions.
Yeah, 100%. That's true. Well, you know, and it makes me wonder, you know, what would this secondary look like with Jacorian Bennett? Like that trade, that was a polarizing trade for Booker, for Bennett, just a straight up 1-for-1, because I heard that, you know, Jack's running with like some of the starters and all that over there in Philadelphia.
Yeah, but okay, look, I'm gonna push back on
that's
that.
Fine. I'm not solid on that, but I mean, just, you know,
no, and it's fair. No, it's a fair question, and that's a lot of people's opinion. They're like, see, Jacorian Bennett's doing great with the Eagles. It's the Eagles' defense. They got superstars all over the place, man.
It's true.
You know what I'm saying? Like they draft. There's a reason that we were able to get Thomas Booker away from them. It's because they're so freaking deep. They can afford to trade away a guy like that. Like, I mean, the Eagles are bananas, man. And so I think that when you put him on a defense like that, like, sure, he's going to excel. When you're at a deficient, and I'm not saying it's a good reason. I'm just saying that optically, when you put him on a defense or especially a secondary, like Mosh is saying, this is deficient, well, then it's, you know what I mean? Like, he's going to struggle, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, Jordan Ford says, dude, Bennett isn't a game changer. I agree with that.
Yeah.
I don't think he is a game changer, but I think, you know, he's a piece. So we just need another piece. And I don't know if we necessarily need a game-changing kind of guy, but we need a KG.
Nice to have one, but
of course it would. But I don't think we have to have one. I think we have another KG vet that comes in that can teach some of these young guys, you know, bring DeCamerion Richardson on board, bring Darian Porter on board and go, hey, I've had a 10-year career. This is what I did. This is what I do. Learn from me. So, you know, that's what I think we need.
But maybe they don't. And that's the other thing too, is that I could always gonna acquiesce to coaches. Like, they are in practice every day. They are the ones breaking down the film. They are the ones seeing these guys each and every day. I'm going to trust their opinion more than my own. And if Pete Carroll, a guy at 73 years old, has been coaching for 50 plus years, if he's confident in what he's got, well, then I'm going to trust it. I'm not saying that I'm sitting here trying to tell you it's going to work out, but Pete's had a hell of a lot more success coaching the NFL than I ever had. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I'm just going to automatically default to that. You know what I mean? And real quick, too, because while we got you here, Mosh, so there's a lot of changes this offseason, and there's one major one, and I'm starting to hit on here about Pete Carroll, is that, you know, for those of you that don't know, Uncle Mosh was a lifelong teacher and coach and taught, multiple subjects and coached multiple sports and had state champions and individually and with teams and whatever. Uncle Mosh has been around this thing a hot minute. And so I always love to get your takes when it comes to coaching. And I think Pete brings a really cool balance between old school mentality but adopting new philosophies into that old school mentality, is that he's not rigid. And I think that that's where guys like Josh McDaniels and some of the other coaches that we've had, that rigidity in coaching seems to rarely, if ever, work, unless you're a guy like Belichick who takes, however much time to get there and wins 6 Super Bowls along the way, and, Super Bowls as a defensive coordinator and whatever. Then it feels like you can become a little more rigid in things as you advance in that. But working up to it, I think that it's important for coaches to take new things, because the league's constantly evolving, right? So to change along the way. Anyways, I'm saying a lot there to ask you a question, but like, how do you feel about now Pete Carroll being this seasoned guy, looking at this pretty young team now that we've got, and taking that old school philosophy and merging it and melding it with a newer way of looking at things and doing things?
I think Pete Carroll and I have a lot in common. I just changed my insurance agent because every time I go into his office, he doesn't remember who I am. Look at me. I'm a little hard to forget. I'm 300 pounds. I look like Santa Claus and I'm loud as hell. And you're going to go, no, what was your name? No, you did not just ask me what my name was. And this is the guy that took over from my old guy, right? And I said, I've been with you for 3 years. Well, I canned him. I'm like, and it was so wonderful to go in there and said, I'm going in another direction. Please stop my direct deposit. So I started with Nationwide, who's on your side. And Nationwide, Zyla, is my insurance agent. And Nationwide is on my side, but when I signed up for them, I had to do it all online. Okay? It didn't work for me. It made my head explode. I couldn't do it. I couldn't get online, and I didn't have Jeff there to hand my phone to and go make this work, right? I had to start programming, and then I had to download my bank. And I tell you all that to tell you this: I just wanted my policy in paper, and I wanted to write a check. So I went to the office and I said, and I explained my situation, and they did it for me, and they did it online, blah 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 blah. But as we were sitting there and they were laughing at me, and I'm like, I don't get it. I'm old school, blah blah blah. I go, but you know what I do like? I like AI. I think AI is badass. I think ChatGPT is so cool. So my point is, Pete Carroll wants his insurance written out on pieces of paper, but he also has AI glasses, like I hope to get for Christmas, that I can look at something and go, what is that? And they can go, oh, that's High Noon Vodka Seltzer. And it tells you in your ear. Have you seen those yet? They're badass, those AI glasses. They're phenomenal. And then ChatGPT. Here's the information, ChatGPT. I'm giving you. I want this and this and this and this. And they present me with a document that's beautifully well written. It's perfect. I could turn it in. You know, if you'd have had that, it would have taken you 11 years to get your 4-year degree. You know, because you create, and I used you as an example the other day. I told him that you created everything on your phone. You know, you never sat down at a computer. You did everything on your phone. You have that, but that's all new school. Okay, so Pete Carroll, who comes back.
This is so you.
Well, he wants his insurance policy in a form written with this, kill a tree, give it to me in paper, but at the same time he says, what does AI say about that? Can we run plays in AI? You know what I mean? He can do, and he's just like I am. He can do both. He can do the old and the new. He can reject the stuff that makes him crazy and doesn't work for him, but he can embrace the stuff that does. It's a lot like a few years ago, people started talking about analytics, you know? Analytics. And I don't know if Pete is into analytics or not, but I think that he can embrace some of the new stuff while keeping his old stuff and what made him good.
Ladies and gentlemen, Uncle Mosh.
You guys get all that?
Did I totally blow that, or was it?
No, I love it.
No.
And another thing, I had cataract surgery, and it wasn't. It wasn't my car. Needed to be worked on. It was in my eyes, and so now I can see my phone, so I don't always have to wear my glasses.
Nice.
I don't know what that has to do with it.
Follow that up, Swag Jeff.
Yeah, you know.
So you do it.
Okay, I'll do my best. No, I think Pete, and Pete has mentioned before in press conferences that the year that he took off from coaching was really, really important to him because it kind of gave him a more broad scope of what coaching nowadays is all about. He was able to go to high school football games of his grandkids. He was able to, just kind of take a step back and look at it a little bit of a different way. And so I think that was super important for him to do. And I love that he's also said, hey, we're not showing our cards in the preseason.
Yes.
So you know what I'm saying? So this vanilla offense that we saw, guess what? We also saw a vanilla defense. He ain't going to show his hand. So you know what I'm saying? Like this defense, this secondary may be a whole lot better than what we think it is because the scheme that was brought out onto the defensive side of the ball was just kind of like hey, let's run the drill a little bit. Let's see what we do. Let's get a vanilla scheme going and all that. And then, and then week 1, we'll show New England what the fuck is up.
Oh,
you know
let's go, bro. Come on.
Yeah.
Dude, and hey, you know what? You just freaking crushed a freaking segue right there because we're going to talk about Pete Carroll and the defense and the difference in Pete Carroll's approach to his defensive coordinator.
Okay.
Because Patrick Graham was an on the field coordinator. Remember that?
Absolutely.
And then Josh McDaniels did what?
Sent him up to the booth. So Josh McDaniels sent him up to the booth so he could, quote, see. Okay? Pete Carroll's bringing him down onto the field because he wants him to be able to interact with his players. Absolutely.
That's what coaches do.
Pete Carroll wants his guy to talk, not see. So listen to these comments, Mosh, and then give me your feedback.
Coach, we've seen the last couple seasons Patrick Graham in the booth. We see him now on the sideline, calling the defense. Do you have a preference as a head coach? Is it a feel for the DC? Is it anything that you have, any input that you have when it comes to where he's calling the game from?
Yeah, I have a little bit of input.
We had a long conversation about that in the offseason.
I have talked to Patrick through this. We talked through the offseason and wanted to try both.
PG's been down most of the time of his career.
I'm sorry. So I better set you up better than this. This is flashing back between Josh McDaniels talking about moving Patrick up and Pete Carroll talking about having him down. So the two different voices that you're hearing is bouncing back. I'm sorry. I should have set you up better than that. It's bouncing back and forth between McDaniels and Carroll.
Do you have a preference as a head coach? Is it a feel for the DC? Is it anything that you have, any input that you have when it comes to where he's calling the game from?
Yeah, I have a little bit of input.
We had a long conversation about that in the offseason.
I have talked to Patrick through this. We talked through the offseason and wanted to try both.
PG's been down most of the time of his career.
I really like him on the field.
There's people that prefer it both ways. Some people prefer to be down, some people prefer to be up.
I like him down there. He has real command.
We kind of took a peek at it in the preseason and kind of liked the way he was able to see everything.
I think he's best when he can really look these guys in the eye and help them on the sidelines.
They're up there. They feel like they got a great bird's eye view of what's going on, and you can see things more in real time.
Being able to connect the dots for the proper verbiage and terminology in moments notice when you really got to be clear and succinct.
I've never called a game from up there. Obviously, I wouldn't do that now. So
I think he's best when he can really look these guys in the eye and help them on the sidelines. So he'll stay there.
I think we're, feel decent about where we're headed in that regard. And, so I think we'll stick with that.
All right. Interesting their contrast in philosophies between a Josh McDaniels, who is an abject failure as a head coach, and then obviously the great Pete Carroll. I just love, Mosh, the idea of wanting your coaches, wanting your staff to be interactive with your players. How do you, I understand the strategy portion of it. I get that. I get like seeing the whole field, seeing all 22 at a time. I get that. But you can have an offensive or defensive assistant doing that too and talking down to your coordinator who can then interact face to face. And as Pete's talking about, look him in the eyes and talk to him.
Okay. All kidding aside, the best coaches and the best entrepreneurs, the best people that run businesses surround themselves with good people, and you have to bring up your people. At one point, I was in one of my earlier stints 20 years ago. Jeff was my assistant, And I'd say, Jeff, I need you to go do this. You go talk to this group of kids, and I'll take care of this kids. And he would take my wishes and my commands, and he would present it to them in a way that he's 3 or 4 years, 5 years older than them, and say, he could do it as a coach, but he could also do it as a latent peer kind of a thing, and he could communicate to them what I wanted to do. Okay, and we were pretty successful. You and I had the same dynamic, but you were the boss, and I was the support team. So it's all a matter of who you surround yourself with, and you put those people in a place to play to their strengths. Where I got to be when you and I coached baseball, and it was coach pitch, you and I got to be where you were the X's and O's guy, and I was the pitcher. Mm-hmm. And I could come up with the fun games and the silliness and the whatever. The same way when I had Jeff working for me, and he was that guy. He was the silliness, and he was it. But I could say to him, here's my phone, here's my computer, make this stuff work, do what you have to do to get this ready for whatever, or tell me, what. So what Pete Carroll is doing is he's looking at his staff, he's looking at who he's got working, and he's going, where can they benefit the big picture the most? And if it's not up in the booth, then it's down there telling you exactly what you're saying. Put an assistant, let him out of the booth, but have him train an assistant to tell him what he would be looking for, so he gets the same information as if he was up there, but now he's down there and could have put a foot in someone's butt or hug someone or do whatever he needs, make adjustments, make turns. So the most productive and the best coaches are the ones that are going to utilize their players. I've known a million different coaches, and they've said, I'll take a team with mediocre athletes that I can coach up over a team of superstars any day. And coaching up is an art form. And if Pete Carroll and his staff can coach our guys up and can motivate them and send them where they need to be and make on-field adjustments and do what they have to do, well, they've got a winning combination. How are you going to know unless you try it? Pull them out of the damn booth. Like you said, put an assistant up there. Let's see what happens. If it doesn't work, put his butt back up there. You're not going to know till you try it, but Pete's been around a long, long time. He knows what works. He's gonna maybe he's got these other people who can add in some of the new stuff. I want this to work. You need to make these guys do better in cover 2 or whatever. Make it work. I don't care how you do it. Make it work.
Absolutely. No, I want to piggyback on what you said, because something that really caught my attention there was coaching them up. Yes, him being down on the field, he can coach them up, but I think in the same way, Pete Carroll can have Patrick Graham down on the field coaching him up.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like coaching the coach
he might be our next coach.
Okay, you go. Because that was my point.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. I was trying to lift you up.
No. But that was my point. That was my point. Yeah, because because Pete Carroll is not going to be the long-term answer, for, a long, he's going to be around for a few years, but I think he has the best interest of the organization in mind as well. And he sees a guy like Patrick Graham that has been up in the booth, tucked away and all that stuff. Well, now he can be down on the field, coaching up his players and getting coached up as well and going, hey, this is what you need to see on the field. This is what you need to do. So I think Pete is coaching Patrick up to be his successor.
That's so perfect, because you used to do that to me all the time.
Right.
And I used to do that to you all the time when I was your subordinate, and I'd say, Josh, they're 7. Don't talk over their head, or whatever it would be. He would say to me, Coach, let me do this one. Because the brick wall has gone up. You're ranting. Let me do what has to. You have to have those people around you to tell you, pull it back. Let me take this. You know?
Yeah.
And if it works, it's not in a life or death situation. If it's in an every day, let him go with it.
I'll never forget one of the most important lessons I ever learned in terms of not only just coaching, but in terms of leading teams was that one time I got done with doing a post-game speech and Mosh goes, "Hey, let me holler at you." I'm like, "Sure." Of course. And Mosh is my mentor, man. Like we're talking about this stuff within the context of sports and all that, but in life, I mean, he's my guy, right? He's like an older brother. He's like an uncle. He's like a father figure. He's numerous. So it's like when Mosh goes, "Hey, let me holler at you." I'm like, "Yes, sir." Well, what is it? And so he goes, it doesn't matter how much you know about baseball. You can know anything and everything and have the ultimate strategies. But if you can't communicate that effectively to an 8-year-old, then all you're doing is serving yourself. And he was dead ass right. And that's where I look at guys like Josh McDaniels. You might be an offensive genius, but if you absolutely are a shit at communicating to people, then it's not going to be effective. So this whole idea about with McDaniels, it was all strategy. Takes the humanity out of it and sticks his dude up in a box. When Pete's more like, no, let's bring this back to us and to them and connect with our players and engage with our players. That's what's going to have the biggest benefit on this football team from a coaching standpoint. And this is just like another example of one of the many, many reasons I love Pete Carroll, man. Like I do think he's going to be around a hot minute, just kind of like we thought Geno was going to be a bridge quarterback. Some people kind of felt that Pete was going to be a bridge. That's the most youthful 73-year-old man you've ever seen. He's out there
100%.
rolling around, wrestling with guys. He sounds the same. He looks the same. He talks the same. Like, I wouldn't be, unless he like wins a Super Bowl in the first couple of years and decides to ride off into the sunset. Outside of that, he might be a guy that just goes until physically maybe he can't or mentally or whatever, and he decides, all right, I'm slowing down enough. Let me go ahead and pass the baton over to PG and call it a career, man. Because I'm telling you, man, I admire Pete Carroll tremendously. And even going back to when he was with the Seahawks. Like, he was one of those guys that's like far from a Seahawks fan, but he was like one of those guys you look at and you go, all right, that guy's legit, man.
He's got it. Yeah.
He's got it. He's cool. Like, he's somebody that you could root for, and especially when they were playing the Broncos in the Super Bowl. I'm like, go get him, Pete. You know what I mean? But like, but those are just like, sometimes there are players and coaches of other teams. I'll give you an example. Aaron Rodgers was that for me for many, many years. Like, he was in Green Bay. He was in a different conference. Wasn't any threat to the Raiders. Because I love watching quarterback play, and I can admire when it's done well and at the highest of levels. And at that guy's heyday, no one did it better. There's a reason he won MVP multiple times. So I can look at him from a distance and go, God dang, Aaron Rodgers is amazing. And I always kind of felt that way about Pete. And now he's our guy. Like, I'm sorry, I don't give a shit how old he is. Like, it's awesome.
It's really fun though when you look at it. Yeah, and many of these coaches we don't like, but they talk about the school. Oh, he's from the Belichick school. They're talking about these great coaches that learned from and helped build. He's from this school and he's from that school, and there's guys that have done that with Pete Carroll. He's from the Pete Carroll school. He was with him when he was,
Sure.
So, of course, he's from the Madden school. He's from the Tom Landry school. He's,
or Walsh or whatever. Yeah.
Walsh. Yeah. So they're out there, and there won't be a lot of people that say he was from the Josh McDaniels school. Josh McDaniels school of dumbass.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, that's going to be something that we'll see. We'll see how this and he may not be the next head coach we're talking about. He might not be the next head. The baton might not be passed there, but it could be passed to Buffalo, and he could go over there, or he could go wherever. But there's definitely the Pete Carroll school.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I love that you said, because we were talking about Geno, about how, when we initially signed him, it was like, oh, well, he's a bridge guy. Geno could be our quarterback for the next 7 years. And I would
for real, dude.
I would say the same thing. And I would honestly, even though Pete is 73, Pete could be our head coach for the next 7 years. You know what I mean? Like, the youthful nature of this guy and his innovative and all that stuff, and just coaching up these guys, and the guys freaking love him. Like, this guy could be our coach for a minute.
I'm with you, man. I don't think it's as short-lived as a lot of Raider fans out there saying, like on the Twitters and such, and like, oh, he's going to be our coach for 3 years at best. I don't know, man. We'll see, because we don't know what are his goals. Like, obviously his goals, every head coach is want to win a Super Bowl. But in terms of retirement and life and whatever, like, some people, like, I don't know. It wouldn't shock me, man, if he stuck around, especially now. Like, so if he does get that taste to say God forbid we win a championship, but say he got a taste of what it was to win a championship again. Is he the guy that's going to go, all right, I'm good. I'm Dick Vermeil. I'm out of here. Or is he going to be the guy like Parcells that starts chasing and is like, I want to do it again. Let me get another one of those things. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, I don't know what kind of guy Pete is. I would love to find out.
I'd love to find out. Yeah, 100%.
You know what I mean?
Well, and I think, the year off that Pete Carroll took is really telling, because that was his opportunity. You know what I mean?
Oh, he could.
That was his opportunity. He could have dipped out for sure. But now we know that he's come back and he wants it. He is going to chase for another championship. Yeah. He wants to taste that gold again. You know what I mean? So I think it's a really good sign that that he's going to be here for a minute, because he wasn't going to take retirement and come back and coach for a year or two. This dude's he wants to build up the Raiders.
Absolutely. Mosh is still over there just knocking shit around. Gee. All right, Swag Jeff.
You put 10 pounds of shit in a 5-pound sack over here.
All right, Swag Jeff. Hit a break, and then I want to ask Mosh about one more thing before we get out of here for the night.
Las Vegas, a city without a pro football team. In a world gone mad. What can we do about it? Acquire the most desired franchise in sports history? Sin City, lost wages, home of the Elvis weddings, and 24-hour debauchery. But finally, a match made in heaven. The Oakland Raiders have landed in the desert with the Death Star as their home. And to celebrate beyond your imagination has come 3 individuals hosting the most irreverent show while paying homage to the storied history of this franchise. Raiders Fan Radio with Murf, Swaggy J, and Michelle, taking a lighter side journey into the dark side. That was one of my favorite ones.
That was a good one.
I think that was a one taker too. I think we did when we did that.
That was a one taker.
Yeah. Of course it was.
Okay, hold on. I got one more to play.
Okay.
Need some refreshment? Sip Real. At HTO, you can dive into dozens of flavors of real and real refreshing iced tea. Mix and match your faves or grab a gallon to go. HTO. Real tea, real refreshing.
All right, we thank the good folks at HTO. Thank you to our buddy Justin Marmon. And if you've got an HTO in your neck of the woods, please patronize that place. Tell them Raiders Fan Radio sent you. And we also want to thank the good folks at Believe. Yeah, there we go. We want to thank the good folks at the Believe Network for.
You need to be showing on my shirt.
Oh, sorry. Let me show you. Okay, here we go. Well, your microphone is right in front of it. You got to go the other way, Mosh.
Which way?
Yeah, that way. Yeah, move your microphone. Yeah, there you go. There we go. All right. All right. I don't think I missed any super chats except for I think there was one that just came in from Mark Barris.
Yes.
He said Pete's USC class, the game is life. What was SRO? What does SRO mean? Was SRO? Not school resource officer. I don't know, explain that, Mark Barris, but thank you for the $2 super chat in there. Appreciate that. And that money will go straight to the One Nation Foundation. For those of you that are so inclined, if you donate $20 or more tonight, we're going to send you a Raiders window flag straight out of the Raider.
Car flag.
Yeah, car flag. Thank you.
Yes, yep. Just like East Coast Raider just did, who said, anyone seen Rob Ryan and Uncle Mosh in the same room before? Hey, with a $20 donation.
Thank you, East Coast Raider.
The best was when we were in we were at when the I can't remember what year it was because years don't mean anything. But anyway, we were at the draft, and it was in Nashville all those years ago. And Josh and I and Q-Dog were up on a third-story bar outside, and this guy comes up and goes, "Hey, do I know you?" And I said, "I don't know. You're Rob Ryan, aren't you?" And I look and he goes, "Is that your security over there?" And it was him and Q. And I go, "Yeah, if you're gonna buy me drinks, you need to send it through them." And he goes, "Well, could you just sign this napkin?" "Yeah, okay."
That's epic. That's so good.
I should have charged him $10 for the autograph.
Well, yeah.
So this guy has this framed Rob Ryan cocktail napkin up in his man cave somewhere that I signed.
As you should.
Yeah.
I love
As
that.
you should.
I hope I spelled it right.
It doesn't matter. I hope you didn't. I hope you didn't.
Yeah, even better. Even better. All right, last Raider thing to throw at you, Mosh, because we haven't seen you in a hot minute, and there was so much that went on this last offseason. Normally, I have incredibly long-winded setups and questions when it comes to asking for people's opinions about things, but I'm going to keep it very simple, and I'm just going to ask you this.
Okay.
What do you think about Tom Brady being a minority owner in the Las Vegas Raiders?
I think it's great. I think any time a former athlete can give back to what made him billionaires, and how much more can you give back than being a part owner? I think it's great. I think his insight will be. I think it a lot like what we talked about. If they can set him up in a position where he is a sounding board and he is somebody that they can pick his brain, I think it's wonderful. I'm all for it. I think it's fantastic. I loved it when Michael Jordan bought, was it the Wizards?
Uh-huh.
You know, I love that.
No, Charlotte.
Whatever.
He played for the Wizards.
That's
and
right.
It was Charlotte.
Right.
Whatever it was, it doesn't matter. But to reinvest back into what got you where it got you, I think that's great. I think I'm all for it. I think it's wonderful.
All right, so I have a question. So, and this will be
Isn't it funny though that he bought into the Raiders, not New England?
Well, that's a Kraft family. So but there's no successor for Mark Davis because Mark Davis doesn't have any kids. So when Mark's done. And so this is what my only reservation, and I'll just throw this out there to you, is that there's now wind of Mark Wahlberg being invested into the team. We already know Richard Seymour is. So here you got 3 Patriots, right? Because even Wahlberg, even though he's not a former player, but he's very much a Patriots guy, but he's a Vegas guy. But can potentially be a lot of influence from non-Raidery people that are going to own this team. We all got an expiration date. Mark Davis is no spring chicken, and I wish him a long life. But when, ultimately things change, there's going to be a different group of people that own this team that is not the Davis family. So I do not want to see the mystique and the history of the Raiders. Allegiant Stadium, as you know, is an absolute love letter to the Oakland, Los Angeles, Las Vegas Raiders. And I would hate to see the spirit of the Raiders, the mystique of the Raiders, the storied past of the Raiders morph into someone else's vision based on the Patriot thing or any other team or influence, frankly. It's a weird thing for me as a fan who's only grown up with not knowing anything other than Al Davis and now Mark Davis. It's a weird thing for me to try to wrap my brain around that the Davis family will not be involved with the Raiders. It's weird. And so I hope that there isn't some departure from that family's legacy, even though there's no one to take the mantle. There's no one named Davis to take it up. It's not going to happen.
Very simple.
Okay.
You don't buy McDonald's to change the Big Mac. The only thing you change at McDonald's is you fix the damn ice cream machine. Okay? Right. You don't buy the Raiders to change the mystique. You don't buy the Raiders to get rid of the super fans, to tell Gorilla he can't wear his costume. You buy the Raiders, you put your money into the Raiders because of the storied past.
I got you.
You put your money where your mouth is because of that. Mark Wahlberg and Dave Portnoy both of them, huge fans. I'm huge fans of them because they are both putting in a ton of money behind Tunnels to Towers. Fantastic organization. Do they want to change the objectivity of what they're doing at Tunnels to Towers? Absolutely not. They're throwing their support behind it. And I think that's what you're looking at here. I think if these people are going to put their money into the Raiders, they're going to buy into that. You don't think that all them guys, everybody wants to be a Raider?
Wow.
Everybody wants to be a Raider. They might not have done it because the Raiders weren't winning Super Bowls and the Raiders couldn't have got them billions of dollars, but everybody wants to be a Raider.
Well, you know what? And it's funny you said, because now, and Jeff too, and I want you to comment on this because I want to end it on this. I'll end it with some swag. Because the pictures of Tom Brady wearing that white Raider jacket,
bro,
dude, I might break up with Mike Haynes for Tom on that one. Like,
bro, for real,
dude,
for real. I mean, talk about swag, dude. Swaggering boisterously, walking down the tunnel with the Al Davis white starter jacket on.
Seriously.
With his shades on, walking through all that. Like, you can't, I mean, that dude is a Raider. And, just to kind of wrap Uncle Mosh's point right there, I love what you said there, Mosh. But I think it's really good that these guys are doing it now. I'm glad that this team, I'm glad that Mark didn't just not let anyone buy into it. And then whenever he passed away, it just kind of became open market or whatever. Tom Brady, and if Mark Wahlberg does it, and Richard Seymour and all that, they're in there now. They're in the building now with Mark Davis. And Mark Davis is going to say, hey, this is how Dad did it. This is how I do it.
This is part of the mystique.
Let me explain. Let me tell you a story. You know what I mean? It's like you and me sitting here listening to Uncle Mosh. We could listen to Uncle Mosh tell stories for hours. Well, that's what Mark Davis is doing right now with Tom Brady.
Let me throw this one at you.
Okay.
Next year at Alumni Day, you don't think the chances of seeing Tom Brady in that white Raiders jacket at the alumni game is a real thing? The more he gets involved, and if we have a good season this year, how badass would that be?
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
He never really played for him, but he's part of them.
Once a Raider, always a Raider now.
And I've been saying that since day one. The thing that I love about Tom Brady being involved with this organization is that the gravitational effect. Free agents are going to want to be in Las Vegas. Ownership, people with prominent, positions and money are going to want to be invested into the Raiders because of Tom Brady. Coaches are going to want to be part of the Raiders because of Tom. Like, he's one of those guys, like Jordan, like whoever else you want to name, one of the all-time greats of their sports. People just want to be around them.
Absolutely,
they want to share in that greatness. They want to engage with that greatness, and so people are gonna have a pull to Vegas because of Tom Brady. That's the part of it that I love, and so I guess we can end with that. That's the positive side of this, is that we'll see where it goes. And I trust what you all are saying, and I still firmly believe that that's where it'll go. But there's still part of me that just has that little bit of reservation, where it's just because it's just been so steeped for so long, and I just don't want to see it change. But all that said, I think that it's going to go in a good direction. So absolutely. All right. So as I mentioned earlier at the top of the show, we don't have a Sea of Fans tonight. I will be back tomorrow night.
Loser.
I'll be back here at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern here on the airwaves to talk to you all and to share your amazing voicemails and emails that came through this week. And we are back on our full-time schedule. So we will be back in here each and every
Let's go.
We'll be back on Wednesday night. We'll have Michelle back next week. And shout out Michelle, and sad she wasn't able to be here tonight. But she will certainly be back for sure. And so we will see you tomorrow night, and then see you next Wednesday. Give it up, Uncle Mosh. Woo! Thank you for being here.
Man, it was so much fun. It was so good to be back here. I don't know what they did with my chair, but I'm going to find it. By the time I get back on the next one in another 6 years, when my beard's to my belly, I'll be back. But it was great. Thank you guys for having me. I'm sorry I missed Michelle, but I'll be back. I might make a surprise visit and really shake things up. Just come flying in with my dinner pan and start smacking the crap out of Jeffy, and we'll see what happens.
We might need to get you here for a new rant on Chiefs Week.
Why you gotta say that name to me? See, I'm out.
Oh my gosh, and Elvis has left the building. No, hey, we can't thank you enough for being here. Yeah, man, this is going to be fun, man. The season is right around the corner. We are here. We are fired up. And, man, I'm telling you what, I still got a good feeling about this year, man. Heck yeah, man. Oh, nice. Hey, so much respect to everyone that's in the building. Raider 27, Jordan Ford, Vibe Raider, Mark Barris, Flo, Yoshi, Paul, Martin, Jordan Ford, James Furpo. On behalf of Michelle, who isn't here, on behalf of the one and only, the legend Uncle Mosh, on behalf of Murf. You gotta kick my ass before he leaves. Hey, I'm Swag Jeff. Before I pass out, you've been listening to Raiders Fan Radio, where we take a later side journey in the dark side, where we get boys and girls what happened in Vegas, started in Oakland. See you, bye.